Oh, yeah. All right, ladies, gentlemen, guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome to the opening match of the Division 2 New Zealand Ultimate Championships here in sunny Christchurch. We are at the Ngā Puna Wai Sports Club, Sports Hub. My name, as always, is Blair Munro. I'm here to be your eyes and ears on the ground for the first of what is going to be an exciting Division 2 tournament. Our first matchup between the Spring Chickens, a pickup team comprised predominantly of New Zealand former Masters women's players, and Hundreds and Thousands, another composite team based sort of out of the central North Island, sort of pooling players where they can to bring the very, very best in Ultimate down here to Christchurch for your benefit. So we are currently running concurrently with the Division 1 Championships, also happening at the same time, a 3-day tournament. Our Division 2, just a 2-day tournament. So teams have travelled, they've taken the time to come down to Christchurch and put on a mass display for those of you watching at home. Looks like Spring Chickens are going to be playing defense. So Spring Chickens on the right-hand side of your screen in the light blue, facing off against Hundreds and Thousands in the dark uniforms on the left-hand side of your screen. And the disc, we've got the signal for readiness for the Spring Chickens to start things off. Huge big pull with a lot of inside air, just curving towards the near sideline. Conditions are quite still at the moment. There's not a lot of wind at play currently. It's touched out of the near sideline for you, so the players are going to be given the opportunity to take it back to the brick mark. So a point on the field about 18 metres in front of the defensive end zone, so there's no positional advantage conferred to the defence by putting the disc out of bounds on the first throw. Gray slightly overthrows Maine Davis. Cooper works the linky. Cooper tries to pull that one down in the end zone, hoping for the bookends, but doesn't manage to pull that one away. A very aggressive undercut there by Highland. Goes to the near side to find Maine Davis. Xiao on a cut, gets looked off. Maine Davis goes back around. Threads one through to Highland in the midfield. Xiao can't secure it. Possession goes back to Spring Chickens. An opportunity here for an early defensive break. That's Waysbrod with the disc. Early turnover with an opportunity here for Crystal Kane. Slightly overthrows Xiao. Waysbrod to pick up and initiate at about the halfway mark for the Spring Chickens. Marked by Xiao, getting very busy, trying to force towards the sideline. Lets one go through underneath the arms. It's a high shot, eaten up by Crystal Kane. Defensive pressure, those early morning jitters. It's taking a little while for the teams to find their rhythm. So these teams won't have necessarily had a lot of play time together. An unfortunate drop by Lenke on the far sideline, giving possession back to Hundreds and Thousands. Hopefully those teams will be able to shake off the rust a little bit, start finding their groove. Those gears will start meshing together, and we'll see some really smooth offense for the next few points. Great grab there by Newmarch to Maine Davis at the midfield. Two aggressive undercuts from Highland and Xiao, but Xiao's the one who walks away with it, marked in the middle of the field. Forced towards the near sideline. Throws aren't really developing themselves, just slightly puts it past Jackie Maine Davis's outstretched hand. There's the mighty forehand. That's what we've been hoping for, but Gray's underneath it. Gets the better read. Waysbrod puts the backhand up, finds Linky right on the doorstep. There's an option. Not a lot developing. Puts the high backhand over the top. Teams taking their time to get into the rhythm. Getting some of these miscommunications, those little overthrows, shaking them off, getting them out of the system. Highland once again making an aggressive cut, getting plenty of separation. Tries to slip one through to Xiao, but Waysbrod gets a hand in right on the doorstep. Is this going to be the first score of our Division 2 tournament? An aggressive cut from Brown. Goes for the high backhand. I think the defense got a tip on it, but it is going to be a Spring Chickens score. Karina Cooper pulls that one down to put it on the board for the Spring Chickens. The first break of the game. Hundreds and thousands unable to hold that first point, but keeping their heads up throughout the entire thing. Despite the turnovers, despite the little errors, they kept applying pressure on defense. Horvath for the Spring Chickens with the disc for the pole. The golden glove of Euphoria. An absolute cannon of a handler, an asset on any team. Just waiting for the response from the hundreds and thousands. Hoping to sprinkle a little bit of excitement into your day. And the response from the hundreds and thousands. And there's the pull. Touching down at around 5 or 6 meters in front of the defensive end zone. Wharakura starts to initiate early to Lambert. Spratt threads one through to Wong. Lambert and Wharakura working. Lambert on an up line, but the disc goes a little high. Puts the shot long, just goes outside the fingertips of the intended receiver. Lambert to initiate for the hundreds and thousands. Wharakura with a big inside fake. Tries to shift the defense, having to push that line. Penny McCauley aggressive on the mark. The reset goes through. Wong loses yards but keeps possession. Threads one straight through to Lambert again. Little snappy backhand goes to Catherine Gray. Lambert with a long shot. It's touched, but there's a second opportunity. It is reeled in. What an attempt. What a great score. Number 17, Gray, 400s and thousands. They had the 0, now they've got the 1. Looks like things are starting to tidy up for both of these teams. Spring Chickens putting that first point on the board early. Hundreds and thousands answering with a quick hold of their own. So hundreds and thousands to come out on defense now. Just waiting for the signal for readiness before we begin. We see the hand up from the Spring Chickens, who are going to be playing offense from the right-hand side of your screen, targeting the end zone on the left-hand side of your screen. There's the big rip. Touches down not too far from the end zone. Horvath with a quick centering pass to Rolls, working through the middle with Lenke. Cooper helping to push through the middle of the hundreds and thousands defense with a backhand to the near side for Horvath, looking to close out. Finds Sam Brown. What a great finish. That is exactly what the Spring Chickens were hoping to see. It's exactly as we predicted. It was just going to take a point or two for these teams to really shake off the rust, start finding those connections, getting a better sense for each other's speed, getting a sense for what kind of throws we're looking for. A great finish to that point there by the side from Christchurch. And the pull for the Spring Chickens. Siahani Royal first out of the gate, looking to chase that one down, apply a lot of pressure early on. It's Gray with the disc off the first pass. Inamura tries to put one long to Newmarch, but it's not able to stay off the turf. Franson has the disc. Marked by Wharakura, puts a forehand straight through, tries to hit Alice Stolpe. There's a little bit of pressure from the defense. The throw doesn't quite go where we needed it to. Inamura puts one through to Gray on an amazing grab, a high angle forehand. Finds Highland for the score. That's going to tie things up. The game 2-2. This is what we came here to see, folks. Some great play there by the hundreds and thousands, putting another point away. The big pull from the hundreds and thousands. Nice quick backhand to start building some momentum. Horvath again with a big fake, marked out by Spratt, manages to put one right through. Quick dish across. Hennis working with Diekma. Gets a touch on the reset. Great pressure from the hundreds and thousands defense. It's going to generate a turn. Hundreds and thousands with an opportunity to come back the other way. Spread has the disc. Works with Lambert. Finds Xiao. Works back with Gray. Spring Chickens an opportunity here ahead of them. Highland marking the reset. Xiao marking against the disc. Finds Diekma with a low forehand to hit Kessens. Edge down on that disc. It's going to go into the hands of Lexi Sim for the intercept. Nearly snatched off the grass by Lambert, but it's not enough. Macaulay trying to put one past Xiao, manages it. Hennis with the disc on the far sideline. Xiao shutting down the reset. Sim letting one go through. It's Horvath for the assist. Not quite. Disc going to come in a little bit low. Touch off the hands of the receiver and hit the ground. Hundreds and thousands. Lambert with the disc. Looking to come out in a bit of a horizontal stack, so having a lot of players back with the disc or sort of parallel to provide options to keep that stall count low. With the other four downfielders setting up, using as much of the width of the field as possible to try and create channels behind the players and in front to give the defense too many options to cover. When conditions are quite still and there's an opportunity to really fire some longer shots, a horizontal stack's a great option. It's also very, very easy to adapt to if the teams haven't established a huge amount of chemistry. So Horvath has the disc now for the Spring Chickens. Macaulay drops some yards to get the reset. Early swing across. Englewood to Franson. Off Kessens. Franson puts it up. Pulls down the score. That's Hennis, number 14 for the Spring Chickens, putting another one on the board, taking us to 3-2. Christchurch over the hundreds and thousands team. Spring Chickens defense. Now, one of the last times that we saw these teams performing at the New Zealand Ultimate Championships, this was prior to our divisional split, so a couple of years ago. One of the things that we saw quite impressively in their matchup against, I believe it was Zodiac from Auckland, was very much focusing on a zone defense, kind of relying on their experience, leveraging that against the athleticism and I guess relative inexperience of the then Zodiac roster to try and generate some turnovers. They managed to walk away with a win. So far, we've only seen match defense from them, so looking to isolate individual one-on-one players, trusting that experience to know what best to defend. As Wong gets the disc for the Spring Chickens. Gray to Webber. Wharakura gets given an open channel. Run down by Webber for the score. What a point. Hundreds and thousands managed to tie it up. Great positioning by Weber to pull that one down for the Spring Chickens and keep it a tied game. 21 minutes into our time. Spring Chickens starting off. It's Lenke at around midfield with the disc on the far sideline. Tries to fake a backhand, has to try and slip one through, isn't able to get away. Maine Davis with a great knee slide marked by Horvath. Maine Davis not really feeling the pressure at the moment. Manages to go wide with a backhand for a reset. Gray puts it through, but it bobbles off the hands of Spratt. Gray trying to mark out Stolpe as a Spring Chickens threat of a deep receiver. Siahani Royal. Safe reset. Spratt closes in to shut the trap. It's Lenke far sideline, working the far sideline with Horvath. Puts the massive monster forehand up, looking for Stolpe. Snatches it down as Spring Chickens go 4-3 over the hundreds and thousands side. What a great series of trades between these two games. This is the kind of ultimate that we were hoping to see for our Division 2 teams. Even though our hundreds and thousands may not have really had the opportunity to get a lot of playing time with one another, being a largely pickup team sprinkled throughout the country, hence the name. They're doing incredibly well to just keep everything together and continue going point for point with the Spring Chickens. Franson with the disc. Puts it low with a little bit of inside edge. It's going to skim to a stop. Give the hundreds and thousands an opportunity to pick up. We're going to once again see that horizontal stack. Gray to Wharakura. Great strike cut from Gray, but it's not rewarded. Kate Orn putting too much pressure on the disc. It's Franson to pick up. Comes off the hands of Sam Brown. Wharakura to pick up again. Big fakes trying to test the infield. Has to go up sideline. Xiao's not able to keep that one off the ground. Kerridge aggressive on the mark. Waysbrod, the picture of static offense until something reveals itself in Hennis in the downfield. A great put. Probably 45 meters, maybe a little bit more. A nice, well-floated throw. Beautiful backhand out into space for Hennis to run down on. What a score as Spring Chickens go up by 2. Just keeping the mark on that forehand side. That's some great veteran movement. Not worrying too much about the fakes, trusting the downfield players to get open, holding the defender on that forehand force side, or the backhand force side, I should say. Just keeping them out of the way to really open up that space for the Huck. Very, very clever and well-measured offensive strategy there from the thrower. There's the signal from the Spring Chickens. Responded to by hundreds and thousands. A beautiful big rip. A lot of float underneath that. If Spring Chickens want to try something different in defense, this should give them the time to set it up. But it's Gray to Maine Davis. Spratt is an available reset, but it's just a 1-2 punch, pushing up to the far sideline for Xiao. Siahani Royal with a great touch. Rachel Siahani Royal, who joined us for a couple of games yesterday in the commentary booth, playing in the Division 2, so we're not going to hear too much from her unless it's a hand block on the field. There's Waysbrod for Siahani Royal. That's the bookends. Beautiful way to start and end a possession with touches by the same player. Siahani Royal making herself known on this Division 2 field. Just some absolutely fantastic play. Spring Chickens up by 3 now, starting to find their rhythm. So, based on current information, the score is 6-3 in a game to 15 in favor of the Spring Chickens. Rachel Siahani finishing off that point with a great bookends. Franson with the pull. Kane to Gray. Kane puts one up. Looks like someone might have got a touch. The disc started to blade over a little early. Franson marked by Newmarch. Newmarch not able to stop it. Orwin to Linky, near sideline. Linky finds Cooper on an upline. Goes wide, pushes the far sideline now. Christie rolls, recenters to Franson. Something not unlike a slide cancel from Sarah Diekma. Somebody's been playing Street Fighter. Finds Linky, near sideline, goes around Wharakura. Some great run through defense by Rebecca Gray, gets a touch. What a beautiful block there. That one looked to be in Coop's hands, no question, until the hundreds and thousands snuck through and took a bite out of that biscuit. Weber puts one over the top. Bounces off Lambert to Gray, back to Lambert. Main Davis working with Lambert, building up some momentum, gets the defense out of position, goes back to Davis, drops all the way to Wharakura, who winds something up big. Back to Main Davis, and Wharakura, some really nice give and goes with a big backhand. It's fading right. Who's going to get it? It's Gray with the score. What a beautiful way to finish that point. Hundreds and thousands bringing it back to within 2 points. In fact, that's actually another bookends as well. It was Gray who got the touch that shut down that score attempt by Cooper on the right-hand side end zone, and she gets the final touch on the disc going back the other way. With as many passes as there were between those touches on the disc, however, those would be the kind of bookends you'd use for Encyclopedia Britannica, I guess. But regardless, what a great, great effort. Perfect read underneath the disc. Managed to catch the Spring Chickens defender a little bit on the back foot on that turn. And so hundreds and thousands with the disc to come out on defense now. Talking a little bit of strategy, taking a little bit of time on the line. They might be looking at shifting things up, moving away from a strict match defense, starting to really try and pressure space instead that the Spring Chickens might be targeting. One of the things when you have a team with a sort of a longer career, I guess, in the scheme of things, Kane with the disc to pull. And you've got a team with a longer career. They've seen and played enough that they might be inadvertently falling into patterns that the hundreds and thousands may have identified and might be able to shut down. Looks like a bit of a loose zone defense. Possibly a loose match defense. It's Kessens. Tight on the near sideline. Manages to get one through to Brown. Puts a big shot up, looking for Hennis again. Catherine Gray with the huge block. It's a grey day here at Ngā Puna Wai Sports Hub in Christchurch. And now, an opportunity for a break here. Wong with a great cut underneath. The disc goes a little bit high, comes off the hand. Siahani makes sure that hits the ground. Horvath right in the danger zone. 15 to 20 meters. She's got a comfortable throw just about anywhere in the end zone from here. Sim applying a lot of pressure. Gets the inside backhand to Stolpe. Right on the doorstep. Goes back to Kessens. Around to Brown. Drops one off. Finds Macaulay. Lining up the backhand. Decides to look away. Kane shutting down. Has to go for a shorter one to Siahani Royal. Puts one through to Brown for the finish. Spring Chickens 7. Hundreds and thousands 4. In a game to 15, the first team to hit 8 points on the board is going to take half. So we'll have a break once the first team does that. At the moment, it does look to be Spring Chickens' game. However, we've seen some pretty amazing stuff defensively from the hundreds and thousands. And as long as they can continue that and then convert on offense, it's still anybody's game. Waysbrod puts the big shot up for a pull early. Spratt, Lambert hoping for some early momentum. Again, seeing a little bit of a horizontal stack with only a couple of handlers back, so players a bit more confident with the disc who are willing to work and move the disc. Lambert pushes up to Gray, far sideline with a high release flick. Gray to Gray to Gray, nice little bouncing the disc. That's Lambert again. Inamura puts it through to Kerridge for the score. Possibly not. Might have slipped just past the hands. Spring Chickens have an opportunity now to take half. And so in response to the horizontal stack that we've seen from the hundreds and thousands so far, we're seeing the Spring Chickens set up in a vertical stack. Players, 5 players in the downfield lining up as Siahani Royal makes an aggressive undercut, but gets looked off in favor of Inglewood. Disc touches ground. Gray to Lambert. Lambert puts it up. It's fading early. Gray can't get a hand underneath it. Just for clarity's sake, there are 2 Grays on the field. It's not just one person doing all the work. But again, we see that vertical stack. So we're trying to create 2 channels on the near and far sidelines for players to target. Inglewood gets the disc. Tries to put a long shot up to Orwin. But conditions are a little unstable. There's some wind picking up. The edge of the disc was picked up. It turned back into the ground. Spratt, Inamura, and Lambert. Looks like there may have been a bit of a touch on the disc. It came out a little wobbly. Franson puts one up. Straight into the waiting hands of the defensive Lambert. Finds Gray. Trying to continue that momentum down the near sideline. Has to go wide. Inamura to Lambert with a big backhand. Or forehand, rather. Slips past Orwin, but Weber can't pull it down. Weisbrod and Franson to initiate. Two handlers in the upfield space. Siahani Royal makes another aggressive cut. Inamura tries to leave a defender to help out. It's not going to be enough. It's Cooper. Plays a little bit of hacky sack before letting the disc hit the ground. Inamura puts a high shot up. Cooper's underneath, but Kerridge is in front. Kerridge comes down over Cooper. What a sky, but the disc gets turned and Spring Chickens have it going back the other way. There's the cut from Cooper, gets looked off. Weisbrod tries to put it through to Kessens, hoping for a power throw to put it the rest of the way, but Gray gets in front, puts an outside in, backhand. It's not going to fade back enough for a score opportunity, but a great chase down by Gray nonetheless. Now, the disc is going to come back in where it first crossed the line. Franson's going to bring the disc in on the sideline where it left the field, and as the disc didn't have enough curve to come back in, that gives them about 10 to 15 meters of free field to work from. And a timeout has been called, a veteran call. It's been a long point, quite a few turns on this one. Things starting to slow down, things need to re-gel. So just taking a moment to catch your breath, get some water, rehydrate a little bit, and take that moment to mentally reset. What is it that the Spring Chickens need to do to close out this point? We've seen them look off a couple of good cuts, perhaps in favor of players they're a bit more familiar with in terms of chemistry, but that hesitation has allowed the Hundreds and Thousands defense to really get into a good position and generate a lot of turns, and then make some good momentum and good passes back down the field for scoring opportunities. And it's just those little sort of percentage miscalculations or discrepancies start to add up, and it gives the disc back to the Spring Chickens. But from a Spring Chickens perspective, some of the options that they're taking, they need to maybe be a little bit quicker to match the pace of the sort of younger, a bit more energetic Hundreds and Thousands. And on the flip side, defensively, Hundreds and Thousands need to think, okay, well, what can we do on offense to just keep things tight when we generate these turns? Are we going to be able to hold on to them? But we'll be back very briefly at the conclusion of this timeout. To talk through the rest of this game. And with the break of the huddles, the sky graying off in the distance. Franson, marked by Inamura, goes around for a break, finds Kessens, pressured by Gray, puts one through to Coop, but it's a bit low. Spratt to pick up, got a great throw. Weber pushing that near sideline, but the defense was in a great position. Another high release flick over the top, eaten up by Lambert. What a save. Spratt gets the reset. Kerridge open on that far sideline, but the throw doesn't come away. Gray to Gray. Two shades of Gray, putting the hurt on the Spring Chickens, coming back the other way. 2 points difference in the game at the moment. 7-5 Spring Chickens over Hundreds and Thousands in a game to 15. So, first team to reach 8, we will take a brief half time. But until then, the action just doesn't stop. And so, Wharakura with the pull for hundreds and thousands. Lets it rip. It's coming towards the near sideline, but a lot of float underneath. It's going to touch down inbounds. It fades back towards center field. Horvath to pick up and initiate. Threads one through to Lenke. Christie rolls. Hits Horvath on an up line. Marked by Lexi Sim. Puts the forehand up. Great work by Diekma for the score. That is going to be our half time as Spring Chickens go 8 over the hundreds and thousands 5. What a thrilling start to our Division 2 Ultimate Championship here at Ngā Punawai Sports Hub in Christchurch. My name is Blair Munro, and I am so excited to bring you the second half of this game in just a few minutes.
Right now, he's gonna have to bid. Just a football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear. So if we're aware of that, we're in that 4 round, we got 4 people. We can almost say much.
It was.
Is it clocked in to stop at halftime?
It's not a. This is the thing,
Why do they not have multiples?
we do, we've got a lot of cardboard, you can cut your own. We'll be able to hit it between games. Oh, that's right. Good game so far though. So 8-4, that's not bad. I'll take it from here. Yeah, no, I'll try and do updates as I go. Like that's the thing, like I'll always try and like remember, like, or like call the score as it happens, just in case. You mean? Yeah, because you've got the button now. Yeah. Do we have an update on the score?
Are we sure we're on 8-5 by the way?
Just training. They also don't have a scoreboard out, which is one. We're going back to one.
strapping your elbows to your body, that's what I'm going to ask. Because if you could just do that, I think. Or we could go to dinosaurs or something. Yeah, everyone's pretty impressed. I get that. When I'm like, I would be hurt more. Yeah, but you're like particularly aware. So mean. I know, that's what we're doing too. There were a couple of forces, defense, catching. Can we work on it? I know, and it's great that it's a live stream. See, it's been so wet.
Just when you put your headset on there, it pulls it back. Yeah. This is not a lot.
Meet yourself.
And we are back for the second half of the first match in our stream coverage of the Division 2 New Zealand Ultimate Championships in the women's division at beautiful Ngā Puna Wai Sports Hub in Christchurch. My name, as always, is Blair Monroe, and it is an absolute pleasure to be here to bring you this coverage, and also a very, very happy birthday to my dear sister Rachel. Going to be going out to dinner with the rest of the family tonight. I'm down here in Christchurch, and I've got some great ultimate to watch. It's Lambert with the pull for the hundreds and thousands to come out on defense after half against the Spring Chickens from Christchurch. Horvath, Euphoria's golden glove, has the disc to initiate, finds Siahani Royal on an undercut marked by Gray. Goes back to Wastebrod with a big fake. Wharakura shifting out of the way. We're seeing a zone defense now by the looks. Wastebrod facing off against Wharakura. Newmarch shuts down the reset. Siahani Royal gets one away from Gray. Rolls marked by Lambert. Siahani Royal again. Every other touch on the disc helping to work. It's Horvath now right in the danger zone. Finding Samantha Brown, slight overthrow, and the backup player's not able to get there either. That's a turnover and a great opportunity for hundreds and thousands to work back the other way. Newmarch pushing under, trying to get free from Macaulay. There's a big backhand being wound up. Goes up over the top. Huge touch by Sam Brown, giving the disc back to the Spring Chickens. Waysbrod resets to Macaulay. Working with, puts a little floaty dish pass on the far sideline. Working back towards center field as Wharakura closes the trap, but the forehand goes up. Anyway, who's underneath? Bit of a misread from the Spring Chickens offense. It's exactly what the hundreds and thousands need to work back the other way. Rebecca Gray supported by Nikki Lambert and Joe Wharakura in the handler space. Early engagement, trying to get something to develop in the downfield space. Great undercut there by Tessa Highland. Tries to get one through to Lexi Sim, but isn't able to pull that one off. Spring Chickens here. Waysbrod to Brown. Big backhand fake. Nice upline cut from Waysbrod. Gets to the disc right on the doorstep, on the edge of another point. Puts it through to Siahani Royal. A great way to start off the second half for the Canterbury side. The score now 9-5 in favor of the Spring Chickens. Orwin, Englewood, Franson, Hennis, Macaulay. Some solid defenders, great handlers on this Spring Chickens line. Kane, Spratt, Kerridge, Highland. Xiao for hundreds and thousands. Franson lets it rip. It's got a lot of float. It's going to touch down just outside the halfway line. What a beautiful put. Touches inbounds early, so it's going to force Kerridge to pick it up from the sideline. A lot of pressure. Spratt loses a few yards, but keeps it in hand. Finds Kane on the quick turnaround, looking for Inamura. Isn't able to reel that one in. Macaulay with the disc to bring it back where it came out. Kate Franson steps back, gets the disc center field, puts the big forehand up. Right to the hands of the opposition, Kane. Tries to find Inamura again. Puts a little bit too much height on it. A great attempt, though. Franson has the disc. Highland to put the mark on. Highland trying to stop the huck. Franson with a big lean. Eventually has to look back center field. Finds rolls to Orwin. Little bobble, but puts the forehand up. Englewood marked by Spratt. Hennis making herself available on the near sideline. Slight miscommunication. It's Kane again to eat that one up. Newmarch with the disc. Finds Inamura. This could be what the hundreds and thousands need. Puts a blade up. Kane gets it for the score. 9-6. Still a three-point game. Anybody's game. Spring Chickens still up by 3. But hundreds and thousands not letting the game go just yet. Horvath, Cooper, Stolpe, Alaba. Lenke, Siahani Royal on the offensive line now for the Spring Chickens. Horvath's cannon getting warmed up. The long shots are there. We've seen how Cooper is able to chip through his zone. Some nice give and go passes. Lenke's got great foot speed as a midfielder. Siahani Royal's been doing some amazing work on those undercuts, helping to open up the defense as well. Horvath on a long up line. Cooper held on to that one for a little while. Main Davis gets in front of the disc. Threads one through to Diekma. Goes wide. Cooper's got it. Back to Lenke, right in front. Horvath. Siahani Royal had the separation. Looked away in favor of Diekma. What a score. Spring Chickens hit double digits. What a great point there. A beautiful hold by the Spring Chickens. Just very patient offense. Not really feeling the pressure from the hundreds and thousands defense on that one. Horvath with the disc for the pull for the Spring Chickens. Hundreds and thousands fielding both greys. Weber, Highland, Wharakura, Main Davis and Lambert. Just moments before the pull. There's the signal given and received. A forehand put, what a cannon. It's going to touch down early and start to roll. A little bit beyond the halfway mark. Wharakura pressured by Lenke. Gray's a nice reset option. Taken, finds Lambert. Main Davis manages to go to ground to keep that one in hand. What a play. Diekma applying pressure early. Stolpe comes through, stops Gray getting a hand to it. And so, that is the defensive pressure that the Spring Chickens needed. Lenke's got it. Horvath as a reset option in center field. It's going to be a great first look. If we can time the cuts from that vertical stack from the Spring Chickens, they might be able to put another one on the board early. Instead, cuts right across to the unmarked Brown at the front of the zone. Drops some yards to give it to Horvath, who fires one forwards. Stolpe. Alice Stolpe. What a powerhouse of a receiver. Was speaking to her before the game. She was saying, oh, it's a little bit too early for me. I'll sort of take a little bit of time to warm up. Well, it looks like she's warmed up. What an absolute ripper of a score. That is 11-6. Spring Chickens up by 5. A strong start to the second half for them. So Spring Chickens with a big pull early. Lambert to Kane. A little bit of a miscomm on the throw. Good pressure from Siahani Royal is going to give the disc to the Spring Chickens, hoping to put their 12th point on the board. Waysbrod with a big shot up. Comes off the top of the hands of Brown. Great pressure by Spratt trying to get that one back. Spratt's got the disc. The defense starting to crowd in a little bit for the Spring Chickens. Has to go wide across the front of the end zone to find Lambert. New march on the far sideline. We are seeing at Spring Chicken zone. The pressure is immense. Has to put a blade over the top. Seattle's not able to keep that one in hands. Brown has to go to Waysbrod. It's a short chippy reset. Franson trying to make herself available. Waysbrod goes up and over. It is Brown for the score. We are 12-6. Spring Chickens up over the hundreds and thousands. Spring Chickens hoping to put on another great defensive performance here. An opportunity to generate a turn. So in this game to 15, Spring Chickens with a relatively short road to success. Our hundreds and thousands side, a little bit of longer path ahead of them, but we've seen them put on some points. Just requires a little bit of focus. They've got the defensive pressure as Gray, Kane and Wharakura look to initiate against that same zone that Spring Chicken used to generate that turn. It's a 1-3-2-1, almost like a four-person cup. Gray pulls that down. It's Inglewood, Kessens, Hennis and Cooper really trying to put the pressure on. Forcing the disc wide, but it's not stopping the 100s and thousands from just keeping moving the disc. Gray to Kane. The defense isn't anywhere in space. Puts one through to Newmarch. Waysbrod gets a touch on that one. It's going to give the disc back to the Spring Chickens. That's exactly what their zone is hoping to do, but they've got a long field ahead. Waysbrod fakes the big backhand. Newmarch shuts that one down. Kessens goes wide, finds Cooper. Hennis going long. Coming back under, Horvath's got the disc on the near sideline, puts the backhand up. Who's going for it? Is it going to be Inglewood? Yes, it is. That's our 13th point. 13-6 to the Spring Chickens. What an exciting play. Tao, Lambert, Spratt, Weber, Kerridge, Wong, and Inamura, on our offensive line for Spring Chickens. A lot of speed, some good disc skills, some good habits in terms of giving the disc and immediately moving off, playing off disc to try and generate some space and some momentum. We've got Alice Stolpe, Kate Franson, Alaba, Lenke, Siahani Royal. Some really good defensive players on the Spring Chickens line. A lot of speed, a lot of height. If they come down with that zone again, they're going to be able to pressure those deep shots, and it's going to be interesting to see whether or not hundreds and thousands can adapt to that and really start to work through that zone. Franson with a big pull. It does look like we're going to have a zone. We're going to have Lenke parking up in the deep space, trusting her foot speed to close anything down.
as Lambert finds Xiao. Pinned down on the sideline now by Stolpe. Has to go around, finds Spratt. Aggressive chase on the disc. Bit of a puppy zone, so you've got one player right up the front chasing as Franson runs through and generates a turn. And that second wall aiming to stop anything over the top and trying to stop anything around. Great run through from Franson. Lanky's got the disc at about 18 meters in front of the end zone. Threads a laser beam up the far sideline for Orwin. That is going to be the score. We are 14-6. A huge run of breaks from the zone put on by the Spring Chickens. They are doing such an amazing work defensively. It really is great to see that sort of experience, that knowledge, that sports awareness all coming together, calling a zone. Everyone knows their role, everyone playing their role really well, recognizing that with a stall count, you only really have to play 10 good seconds of defense at a time. If the Spring Chickens can generate another break here, they walk away with the win for their first game of the tournament. A huge way to start from any perspective, really. Horvath has the disc. There's the hand, returned by the hundreds and thousands. And there's the pull, nice and long, starts to fade towards the end of its flight path, touches down with a little bit of skims, going to give the Spring Chickens plenty of time to set up. They are setting up that zone. Just that rush down of pressure, that's going to be enough to generate a bobble and a turn. Horvath last in the space. She's going to be the one to pick it up. We're seeing a vertical stack set up. Samantha Brown pressured by Highland. That's not the option. Threads a bat off the hands of Alaba, straight into the awaiting arms of Christy Rolls for the final score of the game. Spring Chickens 15, hundreds and thousands 6 for our Division 2 Ultimate Championships at Ngā Puna Wai Sports Hub. What a fantastic finish. Little touch off the hands of the intended receiver, but there's always a backup cutter, particularly when you've got a player who can put out bullets. You never know. You always need that safety, and that's what Christy Rolls was to finish that game for her team. What a fantastic performance. Huge, huge props to the hundreds and thousands as well. The intensity that they displayed, the pressure that they were able to apply. They were able to generate some turns and manage to convert them from the Spring Chickens. But in the end, it is the side from Christchurch who comes out on top. Experience need not fear the strength of youth. But until next time, my name, as always, is Blair Monroe. I have been your eyes and ears on the ground to provide context and commentary for this game. And we will see you very soon in the next one, proudly brought to you by ULTI.TV. Head on over to our patreon.com/ULTI.TV. Give us your spare change. You're not using it. Thanks very much.
ULTI.TV